Welcome back to another clay video. Today, we are going to start a new series on the channel of creating these little miniature Mario worlds from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I was recently gifted this box of Polymer clay from Hippie Crafter. I feel like in the last video where I did a review, I barely scratched the surface of what you can really do with clay, so today I'm going to make something a little bit more complicated. Starting out with the base, we need to make all of these dents and alternate between different shades of tan and brown, and this will give us the super iconic ground look of grassy areas in Mario games. I can't say this is in every Mario game, but it's common enough that you've probably seen it before. This might sound kinda weird, but when I was making this, it actually made me feel hungry because it reminded me of some type of pudding dessert. Something I've never done before but I've seen in other videos is using scissors to cut polymer clay, and let me tell you, this is a really satisfying feeling. It leaves behind these little marks though, so I had to smooth them all out using the dentist pick. After getting the grass onto the base, I lifted up some random tufts of grass, and I think this makes it look a lot less boring. Using some brown clay, we have these two little rocks we need to create. And the second one is more of a slope going up to the top. We need to take some green grass to cover the tops of these. I tried using out one of these new scooper tools that they sent me, but it didn't really work out for this so well, so maybe there's another usage for that. Again, another super iconic thing in Mario games is these little hills. They don't always have dots, usually they have eyes on them, but I have seen these dotted ones before. We have a couple different varieties. We have blue raspberry, green apple, and lemon. Let's get those onto the base. Now the next thing we'll create is this little mushroom that's just kind of sitting there on the base. This will be the stem, but we will have to attach this after baking using some super glue because it just wasn't strong enough. This is the method I always use for making bushes or treetops. Just roll a bunch of little balls of clay together and it gives a pretty nice looking bush. I've added in some little red dots on the bush for either berries or flowers, and I think this really helps add some brightness and color into the map. I know everything's already some pretty bright colors, but there's not much red, so it gives a nice contrast between all of the green stuff. I just set up all of the flower stems and leaves, so now let's create the flowers. This is the same way that I always make flowers, but honestly, it works out really great and it's pretty easy to do. This time I decided to expand on this method a little bit and make these little dents, and I'm surprised at how much detail it really adds to it with the little bit of effort it takes. Now that we have a nice little variety of flowers, we need to make a small hole in the base where we can put our signpost. After baking, we can use our trusty super glue to assemble all of the scenery. I don't know if you consider super glue to be a tool, but for me, super glue is one of the most handy tools you can have with polymer clay. I've probably gone through near 20 bottles of super glue in these last few years of making things with clay. Up until this point, nothing was really all that difficult to create, but this sign gave me so much trouble. First, I thought I would make it with some popsicle sticks, and after assembling the sign, it looked pretty good, so I decided to paint it with some brown. This brown was a little bit darker. I ended up using a lighter shade later on, but for now we're just going to use this very dark brown. I tried using a paint marker at first, but it was just a little bit too big of a tip, and yeah, this doesn't really look like a W. So I thought I would try out this new needle tool that they gave me. This one started out pretty good, and I thought it was going to work out, but somehow I just couldn't seem to fit it all in there. There just wasn't enough room, and it kind of just looked like garbage. So away with you, sign. Let's move on to making one with clay, which I guess I should have just done from the beginning. But I wanted to try something new and use the popsicle stick for the sign, but for future reference, I know that that's just a bad idea. My idea for this was to just carve out the spot where the W1 is going to be, and then I could just fill it in with some green clay. Just like the painting methods, this did not work out on my first try. You're probably seeing the 4th or 5th try with the clay, but finally, we have a nice little sign. After gluing it together, we can put it into the base. And that is our final detail, so here it is, World 1 from New Super Mario Bros. I hope you all enjoyed the creation of this little mini Mario world. I plan to go through creating all of the 9 worlds, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun seeing the different types of environments. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.